and then over this jump. Flipping hell. Hello guys, and welcome to this Volks Wizard video, which is the third in a small series of videos where I try and review a car within 10 minutes. Today's car is the Skoda Enyaq electric vehicle. This has just come to the UK. It's basically an ID.4 in a Skoda skin, and it's based on the MEB platform just like the ID.3 and the new Audi Q4 e-tron. I've got a deep interest in this car because I saw it in concept form in Wolfsburg about a year ago, and I posted it on social media and everybody went mad for it, and this car's got a real buzz about it that the ID.4 doesn't have, and I wanted to find out today if it was justified. So today we're going to have a look at the outside, the inside, and go for a drive on the hill course here at Millbrook Proving Centre. So let's start off then with some stats. Okay, so this is Skoda's full electric SUV, the Enyaq. IV is part of the name, not sure what it means. 60 means though it's got the 62 kilowatt hour battery. There's also an 80 with an 82 kilowatt hour battery. The range for this 60 is 256 miles. The 80 has a range of 333. 177 brake horsepower from this 60, you get 201 from the 80. They've both got 310 Newton meters of torque though, which is what matters with an electric vehicle. 0 to 60 is pretty damn good. The 60 does it in 8.4 seconds and the 80 does it in 8.2, so you wouldn't really be choosing an 80 for performance, maybe just for range, and that's quicker than an Up GTI, and this is the 2-ton car. Up GTI is about a ton, so yeah, it's doing pretty well for a big electric car. This 60 model you see here is just over £32,000. The only option on it is a metallic paint, so the base price of the 60 loft spec, which is what this car is just £31,995, so £2,500 has been taken off because of the government electric car grant. That's great, but it means an 80 is quite a lot more. They start at £39,350, so I think they're going to be selling a lot of 60s. There's also a Sportline model which looks fantastic. That's £42,900, and the range is a smidgen less at 327. It's got the 82 kilowatt hour battery. Right, now let's have a look at the outside and the inside of the Skoda Enyaq. Okay, so the Enyaq, what do you think of the looks? I think it really has got the ID.4 outgunned, both outside and inside, that I'll show you shortly. This is, bear in mind, the entry-level model, so, you know, you can make them look even better than this, but this looks great. The metallic looks really expensive, the wheels look good, they're 20-inch. It's 7 centimeters longer than Volkswagen's ID.4, which is already a big car, but thankfully we've got parking sensors front and back. It's rear wheel drive, so it's got one motor on the back axle. They've done a really good job of looking sort of like a Skoda, but still looking futuristic. And it's certainly got a presence. I hope that's coming over on camera. It's got the feel of sort of like a Land Rover Discovery Sport. It kind of reminds me of that for some reason. Okay, let's have a look inside. This is where it matters really, because Volkswagen's ID.3 range does fall down here, and I'd say it is better. So this is loft spec. You get this nice fabric on the top of the dash, which really does lift the cabin. They did this with the Octavia, they put Alcantara on the dash, and it does make such a big difference. So perceived quality in here is massively more than in the Volkswagen. Okay, we've still got the same sort of slightly dubious plastics and carpets, but I wouldn't say it was any worse, and with these trimmings it does look better. Also, very importantly, we've done away with the shifter here, which is hidden by the steering wheel. Instead we've got a traditional stubby shifter down here, which is a lot easier to use. We've got a black steering wheel as well, which is kind of hard to get on a Volkswagen ID. That's quite clever down there. You've got storage in the center console. Plenty of room. These are big cars externally, and internally they use their space better than normal cars of this size, so this does feel really, really spacious. I'm 6 foot, that's my driving position. I'm not sitting up properly, and check that out. So yeah, there's no issues with space in here, and again the feeling of reasonable quality continues. Take the door card for example. We've got these aluminium slivers, we've got the fabric, and we've got textures here which really look quite good. There's no electric tailgate on this car, which is something I'd recommend, although they can be a bit annoying. Check out that boot It is very, very generous. So we've just got charging cables there, so there's no more storage down there. And let's have a look under the, well, what can we call it, bonnet? Because other electric vehicle manufacturers make use of this area, but Skoda don't. It's just got sort of ventilation stuff in it, coolant, screen wash. So a bit wasted really, but then again, there is so much space elsewhere in the car. Right, now let's go and drive the Enyaq on Millbrook's very testing hill course. Okay, here we are in the Enyaq, ready to drive away. We've got the shifter down here that's much like the DSG shifter on modern Volkswagens. There's no key, so we have to press a start button on the steering column cowling, which almost funnily still says engine on it from when it used to fire up internal combustion engines. So foot on the brake, just put it into drive, and that bong means you're ready to go. The instrument cluster is pretty small and not, I don't think it's very configurable, but it's okay. But this screen more than makes up for it. It's massive. It is, how many inches is it? 13-inch infotainment screen. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we just need to come off the brake, on the gas, and we're off silently. Need it into another Enyaq. So I was pretty impressed with the way the ID.4 drove. I didn't think it looked particularly good, and I thought the interior was a bit cheap. This definitely feels better. We've got the knurling now on the steering wheel, which, I don't know, compared to ID.3 and ID.4, it looks good. Compared to Golf, it looks a bit cheap, but I think overall this interior works ever so well. Right, well, we're going to drive the hill course, which will be interesting. I think being rear wheel drive, even with traction control on, which I don't think I can turn it off, and I wouldn't really want to, it's going to feel pretty damn good. So straight away we're up to 50 miles an hour, and it's so refined. They spent so much money refining cars like Audi's A8 and big Jags and stuff like that, and then they just put an electric motor in a relatively cheaply made VW, and it beats them all for refinement. It's incredible. I put it into regenerative braking mode by putting the shifter back. It's gone to B on there now, so that means we get a bit of braking by the electronics, which then harvests the energy into electricity. We've only got drum brakes on the back and relatively small brakes on the front, so it's not really designed to be doing this kind of driving, but you know, we don't have to go flat out, do we? And it feels pretty tidy already. It's 2 tons, so there's a lot of mass to keep in check. We haven't got adaptive dampers, they're just passive, but actually it's all right. There's a little bit of roll. Tidally round this corner, just overtake this lay-on hopefully. Yeah, no problem. This is a tricky cambered corner here. Let's just see what 2 tons feels like in here. Wow. Yeah, we kind of started to go uphill where we lost a bit of momentum, but it's picking it up now. I hate that brow there, but yeah, we're not anywhere near the limits of this car. And then down here, this is a really tricky corner as well, where you need to be super careful, but it'd be really good to power out of this with a whiff of torque vectoring from that rear wheel drive. So let's see what we can do over the brow. Whoa. Yeah, okay, it did feel like 2 tons then. And then onto the brakes now, they feel pretty good. And then over this jump, flipping out. This is a bit of a back corner as well, tightens and tightens and tightens. But once you get back on the gas, the weight sort of shifts back and helps you around. It's really, really uncanny. And then this is the final corner. So turn in. I think the back was like then. Okay, well, I'd say it did that pretty well. What do you think? Now let's go and drive it on the high-speed Bold and see what it's like driving a bit more normally. Okay guys, here we are on Millbrook's high-speed Bold then. So it's just a constant radius, and refinement on this pretty nasty concrete surface is incredible. We're doing 55 miles an hour right now. You probably can't hear much down the mic because that is what it sounds like to me as well. So it's not just the mic being quiet, it's uncanny. Up to 60, let's go to 70 because we can do that in the UK. So that's 70, barely any louder. There's a little bit of tyre noise now, but you've got to bear in mind we're on concrete. And then for those of you who live in France or Germany, let's do 80. It picks up so quickly. This is where these cars really come alive with all that torque, but it does drain the range if you drive like that. So that's 80 miles an hour. That's pretty good. I think top speed on this car is 99. Well, 101 according to this. So this is foot to the board. So for you guys in Germany, it's still pretty damn refined. Okay, so that's a really strong showing then from the Skoda Enyaq. It's nice to drive, it's nice inside, it looks good, and it's super refined at speed, and it is incredible value at £32,000 for this car I'm driving now. I just can't get over that. I mean, I don't know how much the Tesla Model X was when it came out, but I'm pretty sure it was 3 times more. Okay, it was quite a lot bigger, but it's still, you know, essentially the same sort of car. It's a little bit too big for my needs. I've got my eye on the Cupra Born, which is ID.4 size. It's still a big car and a little bit sportier than this, but for a lot of people, this is going to be the perfect electric vehicle, and Skoda dealers are going to sell these by the lorry load. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this Volkswizard video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, please do comment, please do share, please do subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one very soon.